Imagine standing at the edge of the Mariana Trench. You're about to descend 11,000 meters into the deepest place on Earth. The pressure down there is over 1,000 times what you feel right now. It would crush a human body instantly. But life exists down there. Creatures that have never seen sunlight, that have evolved in total darkness, under unimaginable pressure, in conditions more extreme than anywhere else on our planet. In our last journey, we only scratched the surface. Today, we leave the light completely behind. We are plunging straight past the midnight zone, to 4,000 meters deep, into the pitch black. Welcome to the abyssal zone. Let's dive. At 4,000 meters, we enter the abyss, the abyssal pelagic zone. The pressure is now 400 times surface level. The temperature is barely above freezing, hovering around 2 degrees Celsius. The creatures here are truly alien. Abyssal comb jellies drift through the water, their bodies lined with rows of cilia that refract light into rainbow colors, even though there's no light to refract. They pulse through the darkness, feeding on tiny particles and smaller organisms. The grenadier fish, also called rat tails, are among the most common fish in the abyssal zone. They have large heads, tapering bodies, and long rat-like tails. They feed on the sea floor, using sensitive barbels to detect food in the sediment. Tube worms cluster around hydrothermal vents, cracks in the ocean floor where superheated water rich in minerals erupts from the Earth's crust. These worms have no mouth, no digestive system. Instead, they harbor bacteria inside their bodies that convert the vent's toxic chemicals into energy through chemosynthesis. It's life without sunlight, without photosynthesis, an entire ecosystem powered by the heat of the Earth itself. Giant isopods, relatives of the pill bugs you find in your garden, grow to the size of a football down here. They're scavengers, feeding on whatever falls from above. They can survive for years without food, their metabolism slow to a crawl. The Dumbo octopus flaps its ear-like fins to hover above the seafloor, looking almost comical, but it's perfectly adapted for this environment, feeding on worms and crustaceans it finds in the sediment. Basket stars reappear here, even larger than their Twilight Zone cousins, their arms spreading across the seafloor like a net to capture drifting food. The abyssal zone covers more than 75% of the ocean floor. It's the largest habitat on Earth, yet we've explored less than 0.01% of it. Every expedition brings new discoveries, new species, new ecosystems we never knew existed. But there's one more zone to explore, the deepest of all. At 6,000 meters, we enter the Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the Greek underworld. Only deep ocean trenches reach these depths. The Mariana Trench, the Tonga Trench, the Philippine Trench, the Kermadec Trench. The pressure here is over 1,000 times surface level. It would crush a human skull like an eggshell in an instant. And yet, life thrives. The Mariana Trench is the deepest place on Earth. Challenger Deep, its lowest point, sits at 11,034 meters below the surface. If you placed Mount Everest at the bottom, its peak would still be over 2,000 meters underwater. Only 4 people have ever reached the bottom. In 1960, Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh made the first descent. In 2012, filmmaker James Cameron became the 3rd person to reach Challenger Deep, spending 3 hours filming the alien landscape. What he found shocked scientists around the world. Life. Abundant, thriving life. Snailfish were the first surprise. Small, translucent, ghostly creatures with bodies like gelatin. They hold the record for the deepest living fish ever filmed. Discovered at 8,336 meters in the Mariana Trench in 2017. Their bodies contain special proteins that prevent their cells from collapsing under extreme pressure. Amphipods, shrimp-like crustaceans, swarm across the seafloor. At the surface, amphipods are tiny, barely a centimeter long. Down here, they're giants, growing up to 30 centimeters.
They're scavengers, feeding on whatever falls from above. Scientists have observed them devouring bait within minutes, their powerful jaws tearing through flesh with shocking efficiency. Supergiant amphipods in the Kermadec Trench have been filmed attacking and consuming entire fish carcasses in coordinated swarms, stripping them to bone in hours. Sea cucumbers crawl across the sediment, their soft bodies perfectly adapted to the crushing pressure. They feed by shoveling mud into their mouths, extracting any organic matter. They're the vacuum cleaners of the Hadal Zone. Xenophyophores, single-celled organisms that can grow 10 centimeters across, are among the largest single-celled lifeforms on Earth. They build delicate shells from sediment particles, creating structures that look like alien architecture. And then there are the microbes, bacteria and archaea that thrive in the sediment. Some of these microbes are billions of years old, their metabolism so slow that they divide once every 1,000 years. Hydrothermal vents exist even at these depths. Superheated water, reaching 400 degrees Celsius, erupts from cracks in the seafloor, creating oases of life in the darkness. Vent crabs, vent shrimp, and tube worms cluster around these volcanic springs, their bodies hosting bacteria that convert toxic chemicals into energy. These ecosystems don't depend on the sun. They exist entirely independent of photosynthesis, powered by the heat and chemistry of the Earth itself.
We have all heard the legend of the Kraken, the giant squid. For centuries, we thought it was a myth. Then we found it. But the giant squid has a bigger, meaner cousin. In the freezing waters of the Antarctic, there lives a monster that makes the giant squid look fragile. The Mesonychilteuthis hamiltoni, the colossal squid. It is shorter than the giant squid, but it is much, much heavier. It is built for war. The giant squid has suckers on its tentacles, lined with small teeth. The colossal squid has hooks, rotating razor-sharp hooks that can swivel 360 degrees. Its body is a muscle. Its eyes are the size of dinner plates, the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, designed to see bioluminescence in the pitch black. This is not a scavenger. It is an ambush predator. It is the only creature on Earth that hunts the sperm whale. We have found sperm whales surfacing in the Southern Ocean, their skin shredded, covered in deep gouged scars that match the hooks of the colossal squid. Imagine the battle that takes place in the crushing darkness at 2,000 meters, a 60-ton whale versus a half-ton invertebrate armed with razors. We have never witnessed this fight. We have only seen the aftermath. We have only caught juvenile colossal squids. We have never seen a fully grown adult alive. We don't know how big they truly get, but the scars on the whales tell us they get big enough to fight back. The colossal squid is a known monster, but what about the monsters we haven't named? In 2003, Australian scientists tagged a massive, healthy 9-foot great white shark. They called her Alpha. She was the apex predator of her ecosystem. 4 months later, the tag washed up on a beach. When scientists downloaded the data, they saw something impossible. The data showed that Alpha plunged suddenly down the continental shelf to a depth of 580 meters. Then the temperature of the tag spiked. It went from 46 degrees Fahrenheit to 78 degrees Fahrenheit in seconds, and it stayed there. There is only one explanation. The temperature rise means the tag and the shark was inside a stomach. Alpha had been eaten alive. And for the temperature to remain that stable, the predator had to be huge, much bigger than a great white. The scientists estimated the predator would need at least 5 meters long and possess the speed to catch an escaping shark in the deep. Was it a massive cannibal great white? A pod of orcas? Or was it something else, something prehistoric that comes up from the abyss to feed? The super predator theory suggests that there is a tier of life above the great white that we simply haven't documented. The ocean is vast enough to hide a population of leviathans.
We tracked one incident. How many others happen in the dark, leaving no data behind? We mapped the ocean with sonar. We skimmed the surface with satellites. But the creatures we talked about today, the spider crab, the big fin, the phantom jelly, the colossal squid, we found them by accident. We stumbled upon them. If we can miss a 30-foot jellyfish for 100 years, if we can miss a predator that eats great whites for breakfast, what else is down there? What is swimming in the 95% of the ocean we haven't explored? Deep Sea Gigantism is a rule of the abyss, and rules usually don't have exceptions. There are giants we haven't met yet. They are swimming in the trench right now, silent, massive, and waiting.
Next time, we are not leaving the dark. We're going to dive even deeper into the mystery of the super predator. We will look at the unverified sightings, the sounds, the disappearances. We are going to find the thing that hunts the great white. Subscribe to The Silent Abyss. Turn on notifications, because the deeper we go, the stranger it gets. Until then, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, you are not alone in the water.